We all think we have a pretty good handle on what suffering is, right? It's that bad feeling, that painful thing that happens, something that comes at us from the outside world. But what if that whole idea is based on a fundamental misunderstanding? What if suffering isn't something that happens to you, but something your mind actually does?
So, on the left, we've got the usual suspect, the idea that suffering is caused by the outside world. But on the right, that's a completely different way of looking at it. It's a radical redefinition that says suffering is an internal process, a reaction. And to really get how this works, we first have to take a hard look at the reality our mind is even dealing with in the first place.
To get to the real root of suffering, we first have to get real about, well, reality. And the simple truth is, what your senses are feeding your brain isn't the raw footage. It's a heavily edited, simplified illusion that's convenient for survival.
Okay, so what's the processing speed of our senses? It's about 100 hertz. That means our brain can handle roughly 100 changes every second. Think of it like the refresh rate on a computer monitor. The video looks perfectly smooth and continuous, right? But what you're really seeing is just a series of still pictures flashing by really fast.
But now, get a load of this. This is the frequency of reality itself. A quark, one of the basic building blocks of everything, it vibrates at an absolutely mind-boggling speed. That's a 1 followed by 20 zeros. Our perception isn't just slow by comparison, it's not even in the same sport.
So here's the kicker. Your brain is getting hit with this insane flood of high-frequency data, and it does the only thing it can do. It simplifies. It takes that impossibly fast vibration and renders it for you as a stable world full of solid stuff. The chair you're on, the device in your hand, they feel solid, but that's an illusion your mind creates for you.
And hey, this isn't just about the stuff around us. It's about us too. Our own bodies aren't these fixed, solid things we think they are. They are a constant, flowing river of change. Every single particle is in non-stop motion. This universal truth, that everything is constantly changing, has a name: impermanence.
So if everything, and I mean absolutely everything, is always changing, is the change itself the problem? Is that what makes us suffer? Well, the ancient wisdom says, nope, not even close. The problem isn't the impermanence. The problem is how we react to it.
And this brings us to our key term, dukkha. Now, this word is often translated as suffering, but that doesn't quite do it justice. It's much more precise. Dukkha isn't the actual pain in your back, or the annoying sound of construction, or even the warm feeling of a compliment. Dukkha is what your mind does the moment after those things appear.
And here they are, the mental moves that actually create dukkha. When a good feeling shows up, our mind immediately tries to grasp it, to hold on for dear life. When a bad feeling appears, we try to reject it, to push it away. Even with something totally neutral, we might get bored and start craving something else. It's these reactions, this mental friction, that is the real source of our suffering. So, how does this whole process of reacting actually work inside our minds? Well, to explain it, we can use a pretty cool and surprisingly modern analogy: calculus. Now, stay with me here. You don't have to be a math whiz for this, I promise. It's just a perfect way to visualize what's happening.
In calculus, differentiation is all about looking at the rate of change in one single tiny instant. Mentally, this is like seeing reality as it actually is, a series of separate fleeting moments. Just this feeling, then this sound, then this thought. No story attached. It's just pure, objective observation.
Integration, on the other hand, is about adding up all those little changes over time to get the big picture. And our mind does this automatically. It takes all those separate individual moments of sensation and bundles them together into a big, heavy story. This is a terrible day, or I am an anxious person.
This slide just lays it all out, side by side. On the left, you've got differentiation, the raw data of life, just the facts. A sensation of heat is happening. But on the right, you've got integration, the story we tell ourselves about the facts. This pain is unbearable and it's ruining my day. Do you see it? The suffering isn't in the data. The suffering is created in the story.
And believe me, this is not just some abstract theory. We are all integrating our experiences constantly, all day long, turning simple moments into really complex suffering. Let's walk through a few real-world examples.
All right, first up, a classic unpleasant experience. Let's say you're trying to meditate, or just sit still, and you get a pain in your knee.
Okay, so first, there's just the raw sensory data. Pressure, a throb, some warmth. That's differentiation. It's just information. But then the mind's storyteller kicks in. That's the integration. Ugh, this pain is awful. I can't take it. I want it to go away. What if this is serious?
That whole panicked narrative is the integration.
So you see what's happening. The raw sensation might be in the knee, but the suffering, the dukkha, the story of my terrible pain, that is being created entirely in the mind.
But here's the wild part. This doesn't just happen with pain. Let's take something pleasant, like getting a nice compliment on your work.
Look at what the mind does. Even with something good, it immediately starts integrating. It grasps at the feeling, creating this subtle anxiety about losing it and this pressure to get more. This clinging, this fear of loss, that's also a form of dukkha. Okay, one more. What about a totally neutral experience? Something boring, like just waiting at a red light. That impatience, that feeling of, this is a waste of time, that's a low-grade, constant form of dukkha. It's created by the mind's habit of rejecting the simple reality of the present moment by integrating it into a story of boring or late.
So if suffering is this mental process of integration, of building stories, well then the path to freedom becomes incredibly simple and clear. It's not about trying to control the world so that only good things happen. It's about changing our own mental habit.
This right here, this is it. This is the whole practice in a single sentence. The world is going to keep changing. Sensations are going to keep arising and passing away. That's differentiation, and it's never going to stop. But the integration, the story-making, the heaping of past and future onto the present moment, that part is totally optional.
The practice of real freedom lies in that choice, and it's a choice that's available in every single moment. It's the simple but profound act of just watching the moments flicker by, differentiating without bundling them all up into the heavy luggage of a story. The sensation is happening, yes, but the suffering doesn't have to. The choice is always yours.